Hello, everybody, and welcome to That Wrestling Show, the only podcast where all pro wrestling matters. I am Bill and Covey, and joining me as always is Fro.
Hello, I don't have a last name.
No, he doesn't. He's just Fro. He's, like Cher,
Yeah,
Madonna. Why is it?
I mean, we could say that my full name is Frode Nygaard, but who the fuck will try to pronounce that?
How is it,
Absolutely nobody.
real quick, how is
Mm-hmm.
it in pop culture? I'm just saying this. There are more females who are one name than men.
I
You ever
don't
noticed
know.
that?
Do you, yeah. Do you know the full name of Pink,
Uh,
the singer?
no, I don't.
Alicia Beth Moore.
Yeah, I would have never gotten that.
Yeah,
Would have never gotten
Pink.
that. Pink, everybody. So, this week.
So, we said it at the same time.
I know. This week, we are going to review Bound for Glory. We have some wrestling news to actually talk about for once, and I do mean we have wrestling news to discuss. And Fro and I are going to play a game a little later on, which he just told me a few minutes before we went on the air, so I have no idea what the game is. So it'll be very interesting to see what this is all about.
It's inspired by a topic that we talked about on the pay-per-view.
Okay. All right. Can't wait to...
So, do you want to talk about the pay-per-view right away?
Yeah, because there is some news that came out from Bound for Glory, actually. So,
Let me just say that this was a very good pay-per-view.
yeah, this was another well done show from Impact. I think, to me, as far as their pay-per-views this year, I would have this as my number 2. I think Slammiversary.
Oh yeah, definitely. Slammiversary was better, but this is definitely their second best.
Yeah. So
I think it's mostly because of one of the matches was really terrible.
So
really terrible.
For those of you who are new and listening to this for the very first time, welcome. When we discuss a pay-per-view, we're going to break down the match a little bit, and then we're going to give our rating. And then, usually, we'll have Dave Meltzer's ratings, which we do have here today. And then we'll also have CBS and ESPN. Well, because CBS Sports and ESPN, Fro, they are such the wrestling experts, around the world, that they didn't even cover this pay-per-view.
Aww.
They didn't even give the time of day for Bound for Glory. So if you're looking to hear what you thought, maybe the 95th highest employee at ESPN.com thought about Bound for Glory, you're not getting that. You're not getting that. So,
Aww.
yeah, it's a shame because, they're covering pro wrestling. They cover WWE. They cover AEW. Come on, why not follow Impact Wrestling? So, but we do, folks, because we care about you. All right.
Yeah, and I have to say that their weekly show was still one of my favorite shows to watch. This week it was really hard to watch both SmackDown and Raw. I will say what I think about EAW when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And NXT was really good this week.
So
I think my order of list of qualities this week, it was definitely Impact. Then it was NXT, then it was SmackDown, then it was AEW, then it was Raw, in that order.
All right, I'll give you my list because I haven't really had a chance to watch much because the Washington Nationals at the time of this recording are only 2 games away from winning the World Championship in baseball, and by the time we come back next week, we're going to be the world champions, folks. We're winning this best of 7, 2-0, and the next 3 games are here in Washington D.C. So I might be, Fro, either by the end of this weekend or early next week. I might be having a little bit of the bubbly.
Nice.
Not on the air though.
He means soda.
Yeah, sure, soda.
Bubbly soda. Totally.
I don't drink soda. Shit. Anyway, okay, let's get to this pay-per-view. So, this is in Chicago, Illinois. It's at the Odeum. Sellout crowd is what Meltzer is reporting. So, about 1,500 people. It looked full from the way the venue looked. So, opening match was the pick your title shot gauntlet match. Basically, the stipulation is in the title of the match. If you win the match, you get to pick which championship you go for. And
what a fun little start of the pay-per-view, by the way.
I enjoyed this. I mean, it wasn't a technical match. It was just a fun little match.
No.
So
it was entertainment from the beginning to the end.
It was. And it wasn't insulting.
Yeah.
That's the thing. This was not...
Yeah.
That may be the biggest thing to say about Impact. When for years they've had insulting segments, there was nothing insulting about this pay-per-view. Not one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, Eddie Edwards was the number 1 entry. Adam Thornstowe was number 2. They were the 2 that started it off. We're not going to get the complete order here because this was a long match. This is actually the longest match of the entire pay-per-view. But we could tell you the participants that were in this match. We had Cousin Jake, Luster the Legend was in this. We had a huge, huge pop for Joey Ryan. And we're going to talk about Joey Ryan a little bit later on. We had Raju. We had Jessica Havoc. We had Madman Fulton. Rosemary was in it. Jordan Grace, Cody Deaner, Johnny Swinger. Swoggle. Hornswoggle was in this match. Kara Hogan, Raj Singh, Tommy Dreamer, Kylie Ray, which got a nice pop, a nice little surprise there. Falaba, Sabu, and Mahabali Shira. Those were the 20 participants in that match. It came down to Eddie Edwards and Mahabali Shira, and it went from being a battle royal to a 1-2-3 match, and Eddie Edwards gets the victory in the gauntlet, and he will get to pick the title that he wants to challenge for basically at any time.
Yeah, I'm not super surprised by this.
No, not really.
When I saw who was in the match, he was definitely one of the favorites. I mean,
and he's a workhorse. He could be in. He's one of those guys that he could be in there for a half hour, and he's going to get the job done.
I think he will go for the X Division match.
Ooh, I was thinking he might go for the world title. With what happens later in the night.
Maybe.
But that's just me. I gave this a C+. This was a fun little match.
I gave it actually a B-.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meltzer gave this half a star.
Boo.
Dave, I know it's not New Japan. I know it's not AEW, but damn it, you gotta have some fun every once in a while.
This was such a fun match.
It was a fun opening match. It was meant to be what it was, and it was good. Then we had the Knockouts title match. Tennille Dashwood challenging Taya Valkyrie. This was better than I expected it to be honest with you.
Oh, yes, it was. But, I mean, I hate one of the wrestlers there. It's hard to be impartial, but
No, I
I
know.
will give her that. I will give her that. This is the best wrestling match I have ever seen from Taya.
Oh, I would agree. This was one of her better matches.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the fact that you have her against experienced competitors, Tennille Dashwood is experienced.
Yep.
That can bring out the best in people, and that's what it did here. Johnny Bravo got kicked out during the match. Good back and forth. Valkyrie won with the Road to Valhalla to retain the Knockouts title. Again, I thought this was a good match. Maybe not the best.
Do we agree that? Yeah, but do we agree that she didn't deserve to win here?
Probably not. I thought for sure she was going to lose the title here.
Yeah, me too.
But we'll see. What grade did you give this match?
I gave it a C+. All
right. I might be a little bit nicer here on this one. I gave it a B.
Okay.
Meltzer gave this match 1 star.
Wow.
Next match was the 3-way match for the Impact Tag Team titles. Your champions, Ethan Page and Josh Alexander, defending against the challenging teams of Rob Van Dam and Rhino against Rich Swann and Willie Mack.
Yeah, this was a very fast match.
I don't know. I thought for a little bit this match dragged, but
oh, I liked it
for a little bit, not all of it.
Yeah,
but the twist ending really got me, and it was done so well. So
it was.
Well, we're reviewing this, so the spoiler rule is basically thrown out the window if you haven't seen this show.
Yep.
Rob Van Dam hits Rhino with a spinning kick, which surprises everyone, and he gets good heat for this. Oh, it was done so well. Page and Alexander hit their finishing move on Rich Swann. The North retained the tag team titles in what was otherwise an okay match. I gave it a C+ only because the turn at the end helped give this match a little bit of a better grade.
I gave it a B-.
All right. Meltzer gave this 3.25 stars. Next match was Michael Elgin against Naomichi Marufuji from Pro Wrestling Noah. A little bit of a slow start in the match, but once it got going, it was going real good. Good back and forth action. Marufuji's been in this for a long time. I want to say he's almost a 20-year veteran at this point. And he can still go. He is on fire. Michael Elgin still looks good. He pulls off the character of the big, muscular D-bag heel, but he comes off really good with it. Elgin got
I feel like this match I wasn't the worst match of the night, but it was a contender up to this time because I feel exactly what you said, that the beginning was very, very, very slow. I think the match got up at the ending. I think it was maybe given a little too much time. I don't know, but it felt extremely long. And I don't like to be bored when I watch wrestling. And in the beginning, I was really, really bored.
Yeah. But Elgin got the win with the buckle bomb and the burning hammer. I gave this a B+. I think if the beginning had been a little bit better, it would have gotten a better grade, I think, from me.
I gave it a B minus.
All right. Meltzer gave this 3.5 stars. Then we have the 5-way ladder match for the X Division title. Jake Crist defending the title against Tessa Blanchard, Ace Austin, Daga, and the debuting Ace Romero. Now, how Romero got into this match, and this was explained on the pay-per-view, but the video was also up on the webs. There was a show the night before. I think it was an Impact co-promoted show. And Ace Romero was in the main event of that show. And he won the match. After that match, Scott D'Amore came into the ring and offered Ace Romero a 2-year contract. I think it was a 2-year contract with Impact Wrestling. And he signed it on D'Amore's back. And Ace Romero is now a part of Impact. And I gotta say, this was a good pickup for Impact. Yeah, he's a very big guy. He's well over the 300-pound mark. He may be a biscuit shy of 400 pounds. But he can move fast for his size. And because last week...
He moves like an antelope.
Yeah.
He moves like an antelope. Yeah, I was shocked of how good this match was. His performances in this match was over the top good.
Because when we did the show last week, there was, for those that remember, there was supposed to be a qualifying match for the last spot.
Right.
And the match ended in a double countout. So, because, Romero signed the contract, he filled in as the fifth and final person, and he was a tremendous addition to this match. A tremendous addition. Because...
And I must... Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say...
And I must say that they have done really good signing there. I think he will be great in TNA. I think he will be one of the breakout stars there in Impact.
Oh,
I really do think.
I think 2020 is going to be a breakout year for him. I really do.
Oh, definitely.
And I'm going to say something. It's not a controversial thing. This is just me saying this as a fan. I believe that Ace Romero has the potential to be the next Samoa Joe. And what I mean by that is he is a big guy who can move around like he's 240 pounds, 250 pounds. Because that was what Samoa Joe was when Joe first, made a name. He was this big guy. Ace is a bigger guy. He's like like I said, he's probably a biscuit short of 400 pounds. And my God, the way he moves is incredible.
Right.
But there were so many good spots in this match. The ladders got used a lot. Tables were involved. We had outside interference during the match. And I really liked the ending because it looked like Tessa was going to win the match. We both said Tessa's going to win the title. And then all of a sudden, here comes Ace Austin, who hits Tessa in the head with a baton. And Ace Austin wins the title.
It was an amazing match. I think it was maybe the match of the night.
Oh, yeah. I have it as my match of the night.
Yeah, I think it is. I really liked it. I gave this A minus.
Funny, I also gave this an A minus. So, Meltzer gave this 3.5 stars. Wow, Meltzer's not being kind to the show.
No.
And he's not going to be kind to this next match because it was Ken Shamrock versus Moose.
It was bad. It was as much as I was thinking this will be a fun little match that we will have quickly over. This was a very bad match.
Okay, it wasn't the best, but let's give Ken Shamrock some credit. He did a dive over the top rope. This man is in his mid-50s, and he's doing one of these dives. I was shocked that he pulled that off, because that was basically the highlight of the match.
I totally agree.
Because after that, it just slowed down, and Moose ended up getting the win with a spear. And I'm not saying that Moose didn't look good. He looked good in the match. It's just when you hit... I guess I'm saying this as a fan, to me. If you do all your big moves early, and you don't have anything else for the rest of the match, you're going to lose the audience. And I feel like they did.
Yeah. And the placement of it was also a little strange.
Yeah.
I didn't understand. I thought this would end the pay-per-view. I'm happy it didn't, but
I gave this a C.
Oh, you're very nice. I gave this a D+. All
right. Meltzer gave this half a star.
Yeah.
And then we go to the main event. Sami Callihan challenging Brian Cage for the Impact World title in a no disqualification match. And let's discuss Brian Cage's outfit for his entrance of this match. Because for those who haven't seen this, this is going to be you getting a visual. So envision this in your head. He comes to the ring. He's got the Wolverine like, fingers, the spears. I can't think of the name of it right now, but you guys know what I'm talking about. He's got a red eye over his face, like he's a robot. And then he's got a backpack. It looks like a backpack, and there are tubes in this backpack. If he just didn't have that backpack, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it looked incredibly stupid. How stupid did it look? Oh, it made everybody on the call laugh.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Sami Callihan got busted open early in the match, and
no, that's not what happened. That's not what happened.
What happened?
He bladed.
Well, yeah, I know. But I gotta sell this pay-per-view to people. So anyway,
yeah, but the thing is, like, I said it before. I hate blading, and I hate it when they do it so early in the match. He bled like a pig. When he stopped bleeding, this match got pretty good. But then I have lost all interest in this match. And that is just because of the blading was after approximately maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah, not even.
And I lose all respect for the wrestlers. So I'm going to say this. This is the worst match of the night. I'm not saying that because of the wrestling quality,
right?
But because of that fucking blading. If you blade like that, you just lose my respect. You just lose it because when it was done in EAW with Goldust.
Oh yeah, with Goldust. Yeah, that was pretty nice.
That was done right.
And then
it was done right.
And then the one with Cody was an absolute accident.
Right. But this was very clearly bleeding for the blood's sake. And I, I was very angry at this match at the beginning. But then it turned into a good wrestling match. I was happy to see it, but I had lost the interest because I don't want to see all that blood all the time, and he was bleeding like a pig for at least half of it.
But yeah, I mean, we had table spot. We had a guardrail getting involved and got bent in half. The end of the match, Sammy brought in the thumbtacks. Brian Cage dropped Sammy into the thumbtacks, and he hit a pile driver, and then the drill claw, and Brian Cage retained the title, and Brian Cage's wife, Melissa, came out to celebrate, and that was the pay-per-view. So,
what did you give it last match?
I gave it a B+, and the only reason I did, because I know you disagree with the blading, which I understand. When you're in a match that becomes a personal feud, I could sort of understand them going for it. Did I think it was too early? Yeah, I think it may have been a little bit early. If they had gone a few more minutes and then somebody bled, I'd been all right. But I gave this a B.
Me too. Yeah, I gave this did not qualify. I really don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought it was maybe a B- match all over, but I don't really want to give it any credit.
Right. Okay. So during the pay-per-view, they announced their next event, brand new title for this pay-per-view, and it's actually a good name. So in January, they will have Hard to Kill. Sounds like it's a
I like that.
Sounds like a James Bond movie.
It does.
Yeah. So the big news coming out of Bound for Glory, and it was the news was broken during the pay-per-view. Joey Ryan signed a contract with Impact Wrestling. So we will see more Joey Ryan on television. Now, the thing
I'm very happy.
The thing about this contract, and this is very, very important, he is still allowed to do independent shows. So he can wrestle for Impact, and he can also go to the different independent promotions and do their shows.
Yeah.
So pretty good.
I think you did a good signing there.
Yeah.
Do you have any more Impact news?
There was a rumor yesterday that Tessa had been done or was done with Impact, but that story came out to be false.
Yeah. I'm very happy to see that because Tessa is one of my favorite wrestlers. So I want her on a show.
So, we are done with Impact.
Okay, that means that we can talk about what we talked about during the pay-per-view. We talked about the worst matches of all time, didn't we?
Yes. We thought about doing a segment on our picks of the worst wrestling matches we have ever seen.
Aren't you glad that I found the top 25 list?
Oh,
I will give you the... Yes, from thesporter.com.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Yes.
What's the date of the article?
And article 2015. September 20th, 2015.
Oh, okay. So this is an old article, but go ahead.
Yes. But I will give you the pay-per-view or the date, and you will tell me what match they think is on it. So we will go from 25, and I will give you what setting the match was, and you will give me this the match they think. So number 25 is WrestleMania 20.
Oh, Goldberg, Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
Number 24, Halloween Havoc 92.
Halloween Havoc 92. Ooh, that was a bad show. There's like one really good match on. Oh man, I got a couple running in my mind. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is this a title match?
I don't know. I have never seen Halloween Havoc from 92.
Be thankful. Just go on. There's only one really good match on that show.
I will give you a clue.
Please.
That one of them is very dead.
Well, that helps. I'm gonna say Rick Rude versus Masahiro Chono.
No, Sting versus Jake Roberts.
Wait a minute. How is one of them very dead?
Isn't Jake Roberts really dead?
He's not dead.
Oh. Okay, I killed him.
But no, that is a bad match.
Okay. Here's someone that I wish was dead. WrestleMania 16, 17, 18.
19, 20, 21,
20. 18. WrestleMania 18.
WrestleMania 18.
On his recent DVD, a big fuss was made about blah blah blah, finally living his dream of wrestling at WrestleMania and loving it.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
What is... I have no idea.
Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler.
Oh, from 21 or 20, whatever that is. 27.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
27. Sorry.
Yeah.
I can't count. XX. Yeah, 27. Sorry.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was a shitty match.
Okay. Uncensored 95.
Okay, that has to be Dustin Rhodes and the Blacktop Bully.
No, it's Hulk Hogan versus Vader.
The strap match.
Oh, yeah. Okay, January 4th, 2010. I will even give you the company. It's TNA Impact.
Oh,
what kind of match was it?
Is that the Get Out of the Dome match?
Yeah, the Steel Asylum Escape.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you remember how this looked? It was red.
I do remember.
Like the Hell in the Cell.
Yeah.
And it was even worse because there was a cell inside the cell, and nobody could look into it. It was awful.
Yeah, Homicide. Poor Homicide. I love him. But my God, him trying to escape was just hilariously bad.
Yep. Okay, 20. Starcade 97.
Hogan Sting.
Yep, that is correct. Lockdown 2007.
Lockdown 2007.
Yeah, TNA.
Yeah, I know. Are we going to get a lot of TNA in this list?
No. But this was really bad.
Would this be Chris Harris versus James Storm?
No, but there was a very blade job that was very awful.
I have no idea then.
It was 3D versus LAX. And Devon, did a very terrible...
Was this the electric cage match?
Sorry?
Was this the electric cage match?
It was, yes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, King of the Ring 2000.
Oh, that's actually a show I like. But I know the match that you're going to mention here. It is Pat Patterson versus Gerald Briscoe.
That is number 18. That is correct. Okay. Nitro, December 2nd, 2000.
Wow. That is very random. So I have no idea.
It's Jeff Jarrett versus Booker T. Oh, Vince. Oh, Vince Russo. Oh,
man.
That is Vince Russo. Okay.
That is about the most random match, I think, on this list.
Okay, number 16. Here I definitely know that one of the guys are dead. May 26, 1986.
Okay, this has to be a Saturday night's main event. Am I right? Does it say it's Saturday night's main event?
It says May 26th, 1986. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's between one of the biggest legends of all time. Okay. Literally.
I'm going to say King Kong Bundy versus Uncle Elmer.
Andre the Giant versus Akira Maeda.
Wow, that was so far off the list.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever seen that match. I'm going to look that match up today.
Yep. Number 15. Okay. This is a WWE pay-per-view because I actually watched this match and it was fucking terrible. It was Over the Limit 2012.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
one of these things are not like the other? That's all I have to say.
Is it John Cena against John Laurinaitis?
That is John Cena versus John Laurinaitis. Oh, awful. Oh, do you remember that feud? That is one of John Cena's worst feuds of all time.
I try to forget that.
Okay, back to TNA 14. This is from Lockdown 2007. I will give you a very good clue. This was a blindfold match.
Okay, I'm going to go with the pick again. Chris Harris versus James Storm.
That is Chris Harris versus James Storm. That is one of the worst matches I have ever seen in my entire life. I remember that match as one of the first matches I ever saw. Mm-hmm. Think of that.
Wow.
Okay. Uncensored 96.
Oh, this was an easy one. It is Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage teaming up against the group to end Hulkamania. And yep. I could give you the members if you want.
Oh, I want.
It is Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Ming, the Barbarian. Hey, at least Ming and the Barbarian got pay-per-view money. Kevin Sullivan, Lex Luger, The Final Solution, and Z Gangsta.
Yep. That was.
I think it was like the coalition to end Hulkamania. Or some crap like that.
Alliance to end Hulkamania. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Mega Powers versus Alliance to end Hulkamania. So that's their number 13. Okay. Let's go to Raw, July 8th, 2002.
Oh, I know that one. I saw that match live. And for a while, it was on my list as the worst match I ever saw.
Oh,
Bradshaw and Trish Stratus against Chris Nowinski and Jackie Gata.
Yep.
I remember that. Oh, yeah, that was a bad match.
This is a good list, isn't it?
This is fun.
Yeah. Okay, number 11. Halloween Havoc 91.
Oh, I know what this is going to be. And it's a shame because it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I actually like this match. But
I've seen this.
It is the Chamber of Horrors match.
That is the Chamber of Horror match.
But I like that match.
Me too. But,
it's a guilty pleasure.
Don't say it out loud, Bill. Mm-hmm. Okay, are you ready for a TNA match again? This is October 26th, 2006.
The only thing that I can think of is the Reverse Battle Royal.
That is correct. It is the Reverse Battle Royal. That is one of the worst ideas I have ever heard of in my entire life.
And for some reason, they did a second one, like a year later, and then it never happened.
Yeah. I remember this. This was when I was TNA fan. Anyway, let's go on to 9. Royal Rumble 2003.
Okay, this is another one that I actually saw live on TV when it happened. Triple H versus Scott Steiner.
It is Triple H. Well, was this a really bad one?
It was bad. It was bad.
Okay. I have not seen this, to be honest.
Yeah, take my word.
Okay, number 8 is quite difficult to spoil because it's a shark cage battle. But what is it?
Okay. Would this be a match where they fight in a shark cage?
Yes, inside.
Oh, this is a funny match. Oh my god. Yes, it is. I've seen this. Is it Chief J Strongbow in the match?
Yep.
Yes. Oh my god, I love this match. Oh, I can't think of who his opponent is. Oh, who's his opponent?
Don Kent.
Oh.
Never heard of in my entire life.
That is a fun match. It's terrible, but oh my god, it's fun.
I'm seeing some clips. It makes me want to see it. Okay, number 7. This is from Unforgiven 2099.
2099?
No, sorry.
Holy shit. So you saw 80 years into the future. So we're going to have 2099, folks.
1999, sorry. Unforgiven 1999.
That is Al Snow and the Big Boss Man in the Kennel from Hell match.
Yep. It is. I have never seen it. Do you agree it should be on the list?
I don't know. Like, I think I've watched it like 4 times, and I just can't figure out what the hate is. Like, the concept of the match on paper sounds good because it's a steel cage match inside Hell in a Cell.
Well, here comes one I have seen. Against All Odds, 2007.
Oh my gosh.
This is an intergender match? Yes, so a male and a female.
Then I have no idea.
It's Christy Hemme versus Big Fat Oil Guy.
Oh, God.
Do you remember how awful this was? I've seen this match.
And the only reason they did the Big Fat Oily Guy was because WWE had a writer who was fat, and they used him like a few times, and they grease him up, and that's why they did it.
I think one of the only thing that was good about that was Mike Tenay and Don West.
Oh,
anyway, number 5, Halloween Havoc 98.
Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior.
Yep.
And that is a bad match.
It is. Number 4, October 29th, 1999.
This sounds...
I will give you...
Go ahead.
I will give you a clue that something has to do with Japan.
With Japan?
Mm-hmm.
Then I have no idea.
It's Hayabusa.
Hayabusa? Okay.
Versus Mr. Ganuski.
Okay.
Never ever heard of this match in my entire life.
Is this the one where Hayabusa breaks his neck? Does it say...
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
We're going to talk about broken necks a little later on.
Okay. Number 3 is from Heroes of Wrestling.
Can the whole show be on that one, please? I would put the whole show on there.
It's one of the worst pay-per-views of all time.
It is. I had the tape. I think we may have thrown the tape out, sadly, because I had the tape of the show. That could be anything. I wish I could say the whole show. I'm gonna guess.
Okay.
Jake Roberts versus Jim Neidhart.
It's a tag team match.
Jake Roberts and Yokozuna against...
It's a tag team match.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the tag team.
Oh yeah.
It's Jake Roberts
it's another tag team.
and Yokozuna. Oh, okay, so it's not Jake Roberts and Yokozuna.
No.
Oh my God. Is it...
Something Australia.
The Bushwhackers against Volkov and Sheik?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. Okay, here's my number 1.
They could have just picked the whole card and I would have been fine.
Okay. This is from... this is a match that we talked a lot about on the pay-per-view. I will give you that clue. Because it is from Victory Road 2009. And it is still my least favorite match of all time.
Sharmell against Jenna Mosca.
Yep. Can you believe that this was actually a match?
In wrestling, I could believe just about anything.
Yeah, and one of them is who you said?
Jenna Mosca?
Yeah.
She was
Jenna
from
Mosca.
Survivor.
From Survivor and Sharmell.
Who is Sharmell?
That's their number 2. But they're number 1, and I have actually seen this match, and I agree this should be on the list. It is from WCW Thunder from April 26, 2000.
Okay. And this is considered the worst match ever.
Yep. Can you think of a reason of somebody maybe winning a title on that show that he didn't deserve?
Oh, it's the one where David Arquette wins the world title.
It is.
It was a tag match.
Yes.
Him and Diamond Dallas Page.
Yep.
Against Jeff Jarrett and Eric Bischoff.
That is 110% correct.
That's the worst match ever?
according to the sportsstore.com, yeah.
Wow. I could think of worse matches than that.
Me too, but it's a good contender because it's one of the worst title changes of all time.
Hey, I mean, look, it took David Arquette almost 20 years to get on the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Top 500, so...
True. Yeah, that was a fun little game.
Wow. And I had not seen that list, folks, so that is the honest truth.
Nope.
Okay, so why don't we get into some news, because we do have some news. The big news of the week is New Japan Pro Wrestling announced that they are opening an American version of New Japan. They're going to have a wrestling promotion, and it is called New Japan Pro Wrestling America. More than likely, it's going to start next year, I would believe, is when this will all take place. The thing that they have is they're going to divide the shows by regions. So, for example, I'm on the East Coast. They would have shows in 4 cities in 3 states. If you live in the Midwest, they would do 7 cities in 6 states. So that means basically one state's going to get 2 shows. If you live in the Southeast, it would be 6 cities among 4 states. Texas, it would be 4 cities, and the West Coast would be 6 cities in 4 states. As of this moment, we don't know what the talent is going to be, when it is going to start, but New Japan is now coming into the United States with their own wrestling promotion. And I think it's a big thing because New Japan is very popular here in the United States. And they're not going to be competing against WWE. It's just going to be them being them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to follow them on Twitter, they do have a Twitter account. It is at NJPW of America. So
yeah, I think this is very good news.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to be interested to see which of the Japanese wrestlers they have come on a regular basis. Because obviously the ones that maybe don't get used often are going to be the ones that come over a lot. And the ones that are big names will probably make guest appearances here and there.
Yeah, if any.
That would be how I think it would be.
But it's very smart for them to do this. I think it's getting them wrestlers that they wouldn't usually get a hold of.
Yeah.
In a very easy way. So it's very smart of them, if you ask me.
It is. Okay, let's get into some other news here. Over the weekend last week, AAA Wrestling had a big show, and we had a scary incident take place where La Parka, and I want to clear this for our fans here, not the original La Parka, but I guess like the second or third version of La Parka. I don't know if you've seen this video, Fro. But
I've seen the clip.
Okay, you've seen the clip. Okay. For those who haven't seen it, La Parka does a dive through the ropes, and he hits his head on the guardrail, and it's like this.
Yeah.
He ended up with a broken neck. They've done surgery on him. When he comes back, if he comes back, we're not really sure.
Yeah, it looked like a touch.
Yeah, I would say so. But yeah, hopefully he'll get back to 100%, and hopefully we'll get to see him again in the ring in the future. Speaking of getting in the ring in the future, not some good news for Xavier Woods. He had surgery today to repair an Achilles tear in his ankle while he was on tour in Australia. The belief right now is he will be out anywhere from 6 months to a year.
Yeah, I'm thinking he maybe will not be back.
Now, let me ask you this. Could this be the time? Because everyone, was saying it during Kofi's run as champion. Would now be the time to break up New Day?
Yeah. Why not? I would love to see Big A as a heel again.
I mean, it sucks what happened with Xavier, but I mean, I think everyone knows the New Day is not the New Day with just two guys. It has to be all three.
I totally agree. And Big A as a heel is something I always really wanted them to run with.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But hopefully Xavier Woods will get better. He'll get healthy, and we'll get to see him again, hopefully sooner than 6 months to a year. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But if that happens to be the case, then we will see him in that time. So,
if he doesn't quit, could be.
Yeah.
I think I think he has money enough.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. NWA. They have sold out their first pay-per-view. Their tickets sold out in 3 hours. Let's give them a round of applause for being able to do that. Let's call it what it is. It is an internet television show on YouTube. They have only done, up to this week, 3 episodes, or they have aired only 3 episodes. They sold out the pay-per-view in 3 hours. That's
good numbers.
That is amazing. And it's probably going to be in a studio, a TV studio, but who cares? They sold out. And then today it was announced that day 2 of 3 days of television for the NWA sold out. And there are limited tickets remaining for the last night, which is December the 16th.
I must say that this week's was maybe their weakest week on YouTube.
Right.
Do you agree?
To an extent, I would, but I still thought it was a good show.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Right. No. I understand, and I totally agree. But I thought it was a good show. I mean, it's like I said when AEW started, and after the first couple of NWA episodes, you're gonna have times where every once in a while you're gonna hit a patch where an episode is not good. Or not as good as the previous episodes. That's just the way television is. So
let's talk about the big skeleton in the closet. This week in wrestling, hoo la la. It wasn't good. It was not good. AEW was very, very, very bad.
Ooh, I have to disagree with you on that.
Really? Okay.
Yes. All right. I want to hear your I want to hear your argument.
Well, I thought the pacing of the show after the third one, I was a little disappointed. I think this is on par of the third one, maybe a little worse.
Oh, wait a minute. You're talking about the third episode?
The third episode was a little under, right?
Okay, yeah.
And this
I'll agree with that.
Fourth one, this fourth one was on par or a little under the third show.
Ooh.
I would say this fourth one. No?
I'm going to respectfully disagree with you.
Okay. Why is that?
Because the first two matches were the semifinals of the tag team title tournament.
Yeah.
Private Party and Lucha Brothers was really good.
That was extremely good, yeah.
That was really good. Then you had the other semifinal match, which was SCU against Dark Order. That one...
and I...
Go ahead.
Come on.
No,
I didn't like it.
That one told a story of Dark Order had the bye, SCU, they're sort of in a cross path right now. And then during that is when Jericho and the inner circle came out. And I thought that took a bit away from that match. So I'll give you that.
That's one of the things that I didn't like about it was them interrupting this match, because I really wanted to see that match.
Right.
And taking the focus away was kind of like a little like F you, maybe.
Then you had Joey Janela and Kenny Omega, which was a fun little match. That was a fun match.
Oh, yeah.
Then the big segment of the episode is Cody and Chris Jericho. So Jericho, makes fun of Cody, and Cody made a quote. And there's something I'm going to read a little later on, which actually is very true. Because Cody is like, in the other promotion, we would have been held back, but there's no barriers that can stop me. So he comes, he's about to go over the guardrail, and Jericho's like, there's 4 of us and 1 of you. What are you going to do? So Dustin comes out, MJF comes out, and Diamond Dallas Page comes out. And then we get a fun fight in the crowd, and it's done really well. I enjoyed it. I thought it was done perfectly. It was a way to push the main event, which they haven't really done, in a little bit, but they did that well.
True.
So I thought that was the best part of the whole episode, honestly. And then
it's like I said, I like storytelling, but I don't like storytelling in storytelling, and that's kind of what maybe made me a little like outside of this match. And I understand that people like this episode because of the 2 first matches. The second one was maybe my biggest gripe with the whole show. Okay. But taking away I wouldn't say the quality in the wrestling is bad.
Right.
I think the timing of putting it together is bad.
Okay.
You see the difference?
Yeah, it's that's fair.
For me, it's more. For me, it's more a television show where I can understand that you're talking about match quality, but I'm also talking about flow. And the flow of the show seemed a little off because of what they did and how they timed it and how they spinned it.
No, that's a very fair criticism. That is very fair.
Right.
Then we had the Best Friends against the Young Bucks. Fun little tag match there. Then we had a women's match. It was basically showcasing Britt Baker in her hometown. And then the main event is Pac and Jon Moxley. They didn't really leave him with a lot of time. It was like maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, and this is also one of my biggest problems of this. It's again what I'm calling the pacing of the show. It's my biggest gripe with this show. I felt this was very badly paced, and I really wanted to see this main event. I really wanted them to give them a lot of time, and when I was watching this, I saw like, whoa, it's just like 12 minutes left of the show. That seems a little weird. And how they did it was very like, yeah, it didn't have a very great flow. It's just like that's my biggest complaint of the show. The match quality of the show, I would say, is better than every one, but that doesn't mean anything if you don't have the right flow.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and that's very understandable. I just feel for me, and I said this in a Facebook group, you are watching a very good show when you only check the clock once within the first hour of the show. And that's what this episode was. I only checked the clock once on the first hour of the show. And folks, I'm watching this going back and forth between this and Game 2 of the World Series. I mean, unfortunately, I had to sacrifice NXT not to check on them as often, So, I mean, I do know of a few things, but I didn't really watch it. So, and I wish I had the availability of Fro's free time so I could watch everything and give the same rankings that Fro does. But that's life.
But yeah, no, but it felt. I'm not saying it. I think it was the worst show, flow-wise, wrestling-wise. I would say it's better than the third show, definitely. I would say so, but structurally, I feel like this was a letdown. Structurally, I feel like they didn't really get it right this time.
Right. Okay. No, okay, that's fair. I understand where you're coming from. So,
but it's still a B minus show.
And NXT had that big reveal at the end of Finn Balor returning, which I didn't watch it, but oh my gosh, you couldn't have done that any better.
Nope, you could not. NXT is for me the perfect 2 hours. it's showcasing everything I want.
Yeah. Well, the ratings do not tell the same this week.
No, very sad.
And I do believe, and this is, I'm not making excuses, I do believe part of it is because of the World Series.
I'm sure it is.
Because NXT had 698,000 viewers.
Yeah.
And AEW went under 1 million for the first time with 963,000. But AEW, for the 4th week in a row, wins the ratings. So,
yeah.
I mean, there's something's there, with the fans where it's like, okay, I prefer AEW over NXT. But the thing with NXT, and this is always going to be my defense for NXT, because I do watch the takeover events. They're always good.
I think NXT is the best thing that WWE has now.
But there is your problem. It's WWE.
Yeah.
It's not. If it was just NXT and if it wasn't WWE NXT,
it would have been get better rating.
Yeah. And
it's sad because the product is actually
and the talent's amazing.
Yeah, the product and people around it doesn't. It's very sad to say that this is WWE's best product at the time, but it is, especially with this week's SmackDown and Raw. Jesus Christ, I could not finish. I couldn't finish Raw or SmackDown. I didn't see it all through. I just saw the cramped off versions on YouTube because I couldn't do it.
Here's the problem that WWE made with NXT. They put a new show every week on USA Network. If they had let them stay on the WWE Network and be 2 hours live on the network every week, then you'd have the audiences deciding, okay, do I watch AEW or do I watch NXT? Because they're on another network, a lot of people are making the easy decision to just watch AEW.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
And it's a shame because NXT's got fantastic talent. They really do.
One of my favorite wrestler right now is on NXT. That's saying something.
Mm-hmm.
And for people that never listens to this podcast, his name is Patrick. Patrick is his name.
But you would all know him as the Velveteen Dream.
Velveteen Dream is my favorite wrestler at the moment. I have said that many times. Male, female, it's very easy as well. But she's in another company, sadly.
Now,
she's in AEW though, so that's good.
Now, one wrestler had thoughts about AEW in a way verbally attacking WWE. And I actually agree with this person. In a recent interview, CM Punk talked about AEW going after WWE verbally without naming them. I want to read the quote for those who haven't heard the interview. I think AEW needs to focus on themselves and stop talking about WWE. Cody and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, all those guys have something great going on. I just think it lessens and cheapens what they are doing when they constantly attack WWE. There hasn't been an alternative to WWE in so very long, and I think they do a disservice to themselves when they're trying to be the alternative but constantly bring up WWE. But I understand. When people ask you the questions during the interviews, you have to answer them. But that's just part of life. You have to learn how to navigate that. I would like them to just try to focus on their product and building it up and making it better. I think that would benefit all the fans.
I think we talked about it when I was so criticizing the throne smashing of Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
And I said then, and I still stand behind that was very, it was unprovoked.
Right.
It's almost like going after a WWE without them shooting a shot. And I think WWE did it the best with the saying that, oh, they wish them well.
Yeah.
Like, okay, here's the product. Oh, they have the first show. Check it out.
Yeah. That's very true. So, let's talk about what is in store for both shows next week.
Oh yeah, but before, what did you think about SmackDown and Raw?
Oh yeah, okay. It's very tough because SmackDown, I thought, was more wrestling oriented than Raw was.
Yep.
But Raw was able to push and introduce new wrestlers that could be stars. Yep. And the one who got the biggest momentum out of that was Humberto Carrillo.
Yeah. Who had thought that?
And he had a pretty good showing with Seth Rollins.
Yep.
And I thought, this is going to sound weird. I thought Raw did a better job of packaging and introducing these new picks than SmackDown did this week.
Mm-hmm.
And because look, I mean, we had an Andrade Sin Cara match that was actually a match. You had Aleister Black being showcased. Drew McIntyre comes back and has a good match with Ricochet. Street Profits main event Raw. Let me repeat that sentence. The Street Profits main evented Raw. And they looked good. I don't get what the hate is for this week's Raw. I really don't get it. It's not my number one, but I thought it was decent. The same with SmackDown. I thought it was decent, but Raw probably did theirs a little bit better. So, my list for the week is AEW is number one. NWA was 2. Because I like what they're going for with the Tim Storm storyline. I really do. I think that's
so good.
Yeah, I think that's going to end up being good. I have Raw 3rd and SmackDown 4th.
Okay.
And if I was able to watch NXT, I would probably have it ahead of both Raw and SmackDown.
Right.
So, what do NXT and AEW have in store next week? Well, they got some big matches, especially in the women's division.
Oh,
they have Io Shirai against Candice LeRae, which is going to be a good match right there. And the WWE Women's Tag Team titles are going to be defended. The Kabuki Warriors are going to face Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai.
In NXT. That's very smart of them.
In NXT. That is pretty good.
And that's very smart of them because it's bringing up the talents that's on NXT as well.
And it's the same with the Cruiserweight title. I mean,
Yep.
They did that.
What they have done with the Cruiserweight is genius.
Yeah. And also Tyler Bate against Cameron Grimes. That should be good.
Yep.
Now, AEW next week. The big match next week is the finals of the tag team title tournament. Lucha Brothers against SCU. The Rock and Roll Express are going to be there, and they are going to present the titles to the winners of that match.
Who do you think it's going to be? I'm going to put you on the spot.
I think it's going to be SCU. As much as I want it to be the Lucha Brothers, I think it's going to be SCU.
Yeah, I totally agree. They have done very good with EC or CU. It's very hard for me to say.
Yeah. Also, scheduled for action, because we don't have any other matches, Chris Jericho and Jon Moxley are scheduled to compete next week.
Probably not against each other.
No. They probably will save that for another day. So, all right. Well, that's gonna just about. I can't really. Oh, well, actually, there is one other piece of news, but I don't really want to make it a big deal. But it is up for those who want to watch it. Video footage has been released of Jimmy Uso getting arrested from many months ago. So if you want to see how Jimmy Uso is when he's drunk, go watch the video. And there's some show in Saudi Arabia next week. Have you heard about this?
No, let's not talk about it.
I know. I was just teasing. All right. So why don't we get into the plugs here and get ready for next week. If you guys have any questions or comments, send an email, wrestlingman@thatwrestlingshow.com. Follow the show on Twitter. It is WrestlingShow11. Join our Facebook group. It is That Wrestling Show Fan Group. You type that in the search bar, you are right there. Check out the website, thatwrestlingshow.com, and visit the Patreon page, patreon.com/Bill's World of Podcasts. Fro, what do you guys have this week on Another Digital Citizen?
We talked about one of the strangest religious things we have ever talked about. A Course in Miracles. Have you heard about this?
No.
Well, it's the sect that isn't the sect that Marianne Williamson is a part of.
Okay.
A Course in Miracles.
Right.
And we also talk a lot about some news about some Russians and maybe that somebody was a Russian and somebody wasn't a Russian and yeah.
Very interesting. All right, let's plug podcasts that we like to listen to. Our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast with Joe Murata and Michael Quinn. This week, they've had a very busy week, Fro, because this week they put out their live Q&A special they did on YouTube a few weeks ago. They put the audio version out. So if you missed the video event, which I did, then you can listen to their Q&A that they did a few weeks ago. Plus, they do in their own way review a Coliseum home video of the Ken Patera story. That is something that I think everyone should go out of their way to listen to. That is our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast. There's also the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing with former referee Mike Crockett, along with Ring of Honor star the Brawler Brian Malonis and Brian Fury. This week, Ask the Bryans Anything. So both Malonis and Fury get questions from the fans, and they will answer those questions. That is on the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing. And if you like your podcast done with one individual, check out Greetings from Allentown with PW Peter Winson. He watches one episode of professional wrestling each week in his own unique way. This week, and I definitely recommend it for those of you who are fans of the Mid-South, he talks about an episode of Mid-South Wrestling from June 24, 1982. So check out Greetings from Allentown. And if you're looking for non-wrestling related podcasts, check out the Best Pick Movie Podcast with John, Jessica, and Tom. as they watch each Academy Award-winning Best Picture winner in no particular order. This week, they watch and discuss the Best Picture winner from 1980, Ordinary People.
I'm not a big fan.
I found it very surprising many years ago that Mary Tyler Moore's in that movie. So
yeah, it's not that good a movie, to be honest.
Let me see what it was up against that year.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, and while I'm doing that, check out Unspooled with Paul and Amy as they watch each movie on AFI's list of the 100 best movie list of all time, the 2007 edition. This week, they discuss The Godfather Part 2.
Yeah. One of those where I actually says, oh, this is actually better than the first one.
I've only seen like half of it. I want to watch the other. I want to watch the other. Okay, so this is what was up against Ordinary People for Best Picture.
Okay.
Coal Miner's Daughter.
Not seen it. Okay.
The Elephant Man.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Raging Bull.
Oh, that's a good movie.
And Tess.
How did it win that year? How did it win? Elephant Man and Raging Bull was in it, and you lose? You lose against those two movies?
Oh, and there are other movies that year, just to mention it. Private Benjamin came out that year, which is a really funny movie.
So funny.
Fame. Fame.
Yeah.
Forever.
Fame, I want to live forever.
Let's see, what else came out that I can... Oh, 9 to 5 came out that year.
Working 9 to 5. Did you know that Dolly Parton is actually a good actor?
Yeah, but she's not really that attractive.
Nope, but she's a good actor.
The Empire Strikes Back came out that year.
Oh, what kind of movie is that? Never heard of that movie. Empire Strikes Back? Is that in a franchise?
Star Wars?
Star Wars? Never heard of it.
So yeah, check that out and see how in the world Ordinary People beat all those other movies for Best Picture. And
Raging Bull. Raging Bull.
Which is a masterpiece, by the way, folks, if you haven't seen it. It is a masterpiece.
Ordinary People is not better than Raging Bull.
Hey, and I also want to plug Eliminated, a Royal Rumble podcast. A new episode comes out this weekend where myself and Jim and our special guest, Rowdy Ross, we discuss the 1996 Royal Rumble match. And let me just say, and I'm going to warn everyone, if you have never heard me lose my mind, this is the episode you're going to want to listen to, because I lose my mind. Over what? I can't spoil it. You have to listen to the episode to hear what it is. Anyway, next week, we will discuss more TV. The ghosts. Oh my god, the ghosts are here.
Next week, Halloween special.
Yeah. Okay, Fro, I'm sorry. Do you mind? I know the show's basically over, but do you mind if I call someone real quick?
No.
I might have to put this person on speaker. Give me a minute. I got to put their number in.
Ooh, Halloween. Ooh.
666 666 6666.
Ooh, the devil.
Okay. It's ringing. Yes? Hello, is this the office of the devil? Why, yes! Who's this? This is, Bill and Fro from that wrestling show? Oh, yes!
Hi, Dad!
I wanted to have a word if you don't, if he's not busy. Ooh, not at all. Hold on a minute. I hope he remembers that we talked to him last year. You know.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah. Hello, this is the devil. Hi,
Hi,
devil.
Dad!
This is Bill and Fro.
Your son, Fro.
We're from that
Yes.
wrestling. We're from that wrestling show. Who? We came down last year to talk to you about something, a video. Oh, yes. You all came down and you promised me to bring a new soul this year. Well, the year has come. Who do you have? Well, it's quite
Luke.
it's quite a funny situation here, actually. We talked to Luke, a friend of ours, and he wouldn't do it. Then we tried to talk to our friend Steve, but then we found out that Steve is an atheist, so we couldn't really do that.
So we brought you Grass Dragon instead. But he doesn't count because he's from Australia.
Oh, it's hot.
And that's already hell.
So what I did was I ended up having to bring a bunch of Canadians down here because they voted for wrong people. And apparently I heard Canadians don't have souls, but apparently these people do. Well, I've always wanted to be with a bunch of lumberjacks. Oh, and we also have some Mounties. Oh, you've got Mounties. Oh, the Mounties. Oh, I always wanted them to get me. So, does that mean that we can have it back on the show? Oh, you better believe it, sweetheart. Oh, my goodness, it's fantastic. Oh, thank you. And, Mr. Devil, sir, can you make sure it stays up on YouTube, this time permanently? Well, I always loved lumberjacks. I always wanted to be stacked with them. Thank you. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, you two sexy guys, you.
Bye. That was my dad. Everybody.
So, Fro, you know what we've done now, right?
Yeah.
Should I just say it and get it over with?
Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Lynn.
Time of our lives. What's next?
It's the moment I've been waiting for.
What's that?
Kiss.
Oh, Mr. Lynn. That's so sudden.
Ding dong, the witch has flipped.
Mr. Lynn, we've been talking to Kiss. What is number one with the bullet? Is that like when they say a blast from the past or a golden oldie?
No, you're a blast from the past. And you're a golden oldie. And they're number one with a bullet. At least their new record is.
It's called Beth.
You two will love it. Because Beth is a monster of a hit.
Beth, I hear you calling, but I can't come home right now. Me and the boys are playing, and we just can't find the sound. Just a few more hours, and I'll be right home to you. I think I hear them calling. Oh, Beth, what can I do? Beth, what can I do? You say you feel so empty, that our house just ain't a home. That I'm always just a few more hours, and I'll be right home to you. I think I hear them calling. Oh, Beth, what can I do? Beth, I know you're lonely, and I hope you'll be alright. 'Cause me